In my last video, I showed you around downtown Condon, and currently we're getting ready to leave there. So we're gonna take you on the drive on the way back towards the farm, and there's some pretty cool things that we saw along the way, so keep your eyes out.
If we see them in time, we will stop and show you them a little bit closer.
These little back towns and roadways and stuff like that, clear over here in Eastern Oregon, there are some interesting things along the way, depending on what you're interested in. Maybe one of these days we'll come back and go through that museum, and they have a little RV park here that it looks like they have like a stadium set up, maybe for rodeos.
It's the fairgrounds.
Oh, it's the fairgrounds. Okay, that makes sense. So it is the evening, but the sun's still up pretty high, so I think that we'll still be able to see a lot of cool stuff. And it's only about an hour drive from Scott's sister and her husband's farm.
That is, if I go back the same way we came.
Yeah, we might take a little detour because we saw a couple of little roads that looked interesting.
Or I might get lost.
Yeah, you never know.
Make the wrong turn.
Now there are several old barns and stuff like that along the way. You'll notice that most of these, they're rolling hills and things like that out here. But most of these farms out here grow grass seed and wheat. Different types of wheat.
There's old barns all throughout, off to the left over here down the draw, which the camera can't pick up.
Right, probably won't be able to.
But there's an old barn, a collapsed barn, and an actual spinning windmill. An old one from, I'd say, probably the 1920s era. But it's gone. You can't see it now.
I think we got part of it in there. You might be able to see.
Don't expect to see any rocking chairs rocking on their own on this trip.
No. Oh, that was unique. That was something that uniquely happened to us. It was fun. We had a good chuckle about it. Be able to see some of the other stuff that we saw coming this way, and it's pretty cool too. And we got the real story behind it, because we thought it was one thing, but it turned out to be a whole different thing. We just had to make a quick stop and wipe off the disgustingly dirty window that we had that I didn't even pay attention to when we started this video. be able to see much clearer now. It has been hot over here the last few days. It has been seriously hot. One time we looked at the temperature that we have inside the vehicle here, and it was when we were getting back into it, and it said it was 106 degrees.
It's a frigid 80 degrees right now.
Yeah. It actually feels comfortable to me at 80. What was it? 82? Yeah.
It's 80 now.
Oh, it's 80? Okay.
For those of you in Texas, you would need a winter coat right now.
Or Arizona. Some places in Arizona get super hot too. Just little rolling hills. We'll get up to some really interesting stuff here pretty soon. Oh yeah, I remember this place that's coming up that's off in the distance right in front of us. There is a grain elevator that's there, which all of those are super old. And then there's an old plantation, or not, I don't want to say plantation type home. An old homestead, you know, maybe early 1900s, maybe even as early as 1880 maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I can imagine what it was when it was first completed. It looks beautiful to me. Oh, wrong corner. I don't think this is the one yet.
No, it's just an old grain elevator.
Yep,
It's mothballed. They don't use it anymore.
yep. They have an easier way of dealing with things. Here's an old barn right there, though. Can't hardly see it, but there'll be a few of them along the way. alfalfa around here also. We were looking at some pretty nice bales of it on the way into Hermiston today. things were too big to buck. Sorry about the sun. I hope it's not too bright. Looked like skunk cabbage that was growing back there. That would be interesting if it would grew over here because it's awfully dry. And skunk cabbage actually likes to be in really moist areas. You can see off in the distance with all the haze that's in the air, but it's pretty cool looking. Is that part of the Blue Ridge Mountains?
Going the wrong way. You're thinking about the Blue Mountains.
The Blue Mountains.
No, we're going the wrong way. They're to your right.
Is that up near the Wallowas
No,
then?
that's Washington State.
Oh, that's Washington State.
A little
Oh,
north.
okay. One thing you guys will know is that my sense of direction is not that great. Scott's always having to correct me in my sense of direction, especially over here. Now, I can see Mount Hood right there.
Now we're going northwest.
Yeah.
Now
So,
pretty soon we'll be going west.
Mount Hood is off in the distance.
Probably.
That direction, you probably won't be able to see it.
It's just a silhouette.
Yeah. It's in some heavy, I don't know, haze. Maybe from the wildfires up in Canada. this is the house that's coming up here. And Scott's gonna put it out the window. Isn't that cool? And there's a couple of old barns that are coming up here. Right here up on the hill. It's like some kind of cattle, maybe. Cattle barn. Okay.
this is because there's so many along this road, is because this road parallels the old railroad that used to come down through here. And So for every so many miles, there was a grain elevator.
Yeah. There's another old barn there. And then we've got another old barn and another grain elevator. And some silos. I said in my last video that I like windmills. I was talking about the old windmills. And I think that we went past a couple of them when we went on this drive here. Or drive to Condon.
We've already passed one.
I like the old abandoned homesteads too. We actually saw one that was quite beautiful, even in its deteriorating state. That is out by Paulina, a town of Paulina. And Scott took a picture of that. One of us took a picture of that out the window of the vehicle when we went by, and it's just gorgeous. It has river rocks for the I think for the foundation area, and then it also had river rock for a big, very large fireplace. Somebody put a lot of thought and detail into that one.
We are here at the Olex Elementary School District, old schoolhouse. It was established back in 1880.
Yeah.
I wish you could see it better through the fence. No, you can see it just fine there.
Okay.
But the person who is restoring this is the person that had a booth today at the show we were at, who made some of the best barbecue pork baked beans you've ever had. Oh my gosh, were they good.
Look at this little birdhouse that somebody made. At one time, that was pretty ornate. Pretty cool.
So we're going to pause the video for right now because we're going to be going up some pretty rough road and don't want to be shaking you guys to death. And when we see something cool, we will show it to you.
Yeah, we'll show it to you. Road is a little rough through here.
But the view is incredible. incredible. That's why we wanted to show this part to you. Really nothing interesting going on except for an incredible view. Off to our left is a old grain elevator on the old railroad grade.
Yep, and we'll show you that view as soon as we get back up on top. And
Nope.
I think we need to go a little bit further. I think maybe it was...
There's nobody coming. There you go. The modern windmills surrounding the old school grain elevator. Actually, that's an old barn. That's not an elevator. That's an old barn.
Yeah, it looks like an old barn to me, too.
But our view this evening on our drive back, pretty cool.
So this is one of the really interesting things that we saw when we came the other direction. Now, when we first saw it, we thought that it had something to do with mining, but that isn't what it is. It is another type of a grain elevator, and you see that part that's out there on top of the rock. It's a little bridge-like thing. It used to come out further, and what they would do is they'd drive a truck out to the end of it, and
You would dump
they would dump it.
You would dump it into the hopper, which goes into the pipe going down to that tank, which is basically a grain silo. Then it stores in there. Then you see the lower pipe down there, right there. That would jump into an old rail car and then go off to probably Port Arlington to be shipped out.
I think it's pretty cool. Kind of scary looking though. Driving a heavy truck full of stuff out there to dump it. So the last really cool place that we want to show you is coming up, and I thought it was really cool. It's an old building out here. Looks like an old house, and I mean it is an old one too.
We're going to pull off the road here, and I'm going to take the camera and I'm going to show it to you closer, and then we'll show it as we get closer. That looks incredible.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Now, bear with us here. And it used to have an old windmill back behind it.
was probably to pump their water. So there's a straight on view of it. Very cool. Love it. Well, we're not too far away from the farm, so we're going to go ahead and end this video right here. Thank you for coming along on our trip back from Condon, Oregon. I'll see you next time.
Have a good one, everybody.
See you next time. Bye-bye.